The last 2 weeks say it all. Seattle can manage to score 41 points and sweat it out until the final snap, and it can hold the other team to 17 and sweat it out until the final snap. The Seahawks only managed to split in those games, as it turned out. A week after sending the league a wake-up call by outdueling Deshaun Watson and the Texans, the Seahawks got a wake-up call themselves from Washington on their home field. Any number of players, flags and mistakes could have gone the other way and gotten them the win. Had one or two happened, they would be 6-2, still atop the NFC West with the Rams with a head-to-head win in hand, even still with the Eagles in sight in the conference at the halfway point. But the way their 17-14 loss to Washington unfolded, their 5-3 record looks worse and more troubling than just a one-game difference would indicate. 6 of the Seahawks' 8 games have been one-score margins, including now 3 decided by 3 points. They're 3-3 in those games. That's a lot of lost sleep over what single thing could have gone differently to change the outcome. Sure, the Seahawks had won 4 straight before Sunday, but every problem out of which they had maneuvered during that streak came back to bite them this week, with a few more ladled on top. Missed field goals, for one. Blair Walsh might need to keep his head on a swivel the next day or so, especially with their next game zooming up on Thursday at Arizona. That's a simple one, easy to see. The kicks were a big deal too, in a game that was so tight, Pete Carroll said, stating the obvious. Didn't have to be, but it was. On the other hand, as Carroll mentioned, the other players in unit were getting in our own way. Penalties. Turnovers. Drives cut short. The Seahawks gained 437 yards Sunday yet entered the fourth quarter with all of 2 points. Their Achilles heel, the offensive line, was beefed up with Duane Brown, yet they struggled to get into the end zone. They counted on Eddie Lacy to jumpstart the running game, then lost him to an early groin injury, then later saw Thomas Rawls lose a one-on-one battle with Josh Norman on a late, critical 3rd and 1, amidst choosing to pass instead of run on 2 two-point tries and failing pretty spectacularly on each. Best case scenario, all those kicks and conversion tries going better equal 13 more points. And that's not even counting a Dwight Freeney strip sack fumble recovery touchdown in the fourth quarter that was, correctly, overturned on replay. The Seahawks are in that position for reasons easy to spot. The offensive line, it almost goes without saying by now. The defense that then has to plant itself ever more firmly to withstand the pressure the offense puts on it. They broke at the end, going from tossing Kirk Cousins around like a rag doll all day to watching him hit 2 receivers that got well behind them on the winning drive. And yes, they could have used Earl Thomas on that last drive. They survived without him until then, but it wasn't long enough. The Seahawks need everybody. Thomas, Brown, the ancient Freeney, even whatever Lacy has left. Definitely Walsh. Definitely not 16 penalties. An entire season on the razor's edge has to be exhausting. It caught the Seahawks this week. Don't be shocked when it happens again.